Very briefly, just about our charity, so you know who we are. We're based in Sheffield, and we're called the Sheena Amos Youth Trust, or SAYT, as we're now rebranded. A bit catchier. What it is we're a team of youth workers who work with marginalised young people from various, different communities. Primarily, we work with LGBT young people, and also we have another group called Yambo, who work with young people who are infected or affected by HIV, and all that comes with that. So we're based in Sheffield. We've been going a fair few years now, and this is our new cohort of peer educators for this year. What the peer educators do, they're aged between 16 and 21, and they are trained for 6 months on various different topics around LGBT related issues. They've done quite extensive training with different trainers from all over sort of South Yorkshire. And then we send them out into schools to do a drama performance in assemblies, and then they do follow-up workshops with Year 9 students in, hopefully, fingers crossed, nearly every school in Sheffield. And they answer questions, and they're frank and they're honest and they're open, and so far we've had absolutely fantastic feedback from the schools. So what our normal format is, we do a 20-minute performance in the morning in assembly, and then we break up in the afternoon and we go around each Year 9 classroom and we do a 1-hour workshop and also some forum theatre. Which, for those who aren't familiar, who aren't theatrical minded, forum theatre is when you get a bit of audience participation and you get people in the audience to come up and join in as one of the characters to try and change the way the story's going. So you demonstrate a negative storyline where someone is being oppressed, and then you open it up to the audience to think of a way in which they could come on stage and turn the story around so the oppressed was no longer oppressed. So, for example, taking the part of a bystander and standing up, or taking the part of a teacher and actually being brave enough to challenge and challenge effectively. Okay. What we're doing today is we thought it's a bit early. It's before dinner. I don't think we're going to get much audience participation. So, what we're going to do is we're going to show you the play in its entirety, and then you have to imagine that at the end, normally what we do in schools is we'd invite people to play some of the principal characters and change the oppression. All right. So I'll just quickly introduce you to the team and we'll get cracking. So,
I'm Beth.
I'm Robin.
I'm Beth.
I'm Max. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kerry. I'm Pagan. I'm Kira. I'm Jess.
I'm Note. And I'm Roxy.
Would you trust this lot coming to your schools now? What a rabble. Right, take your places then, guys. We'll do our piece. It's mainly based around homophobic bullying and kind of the different things a gay person will have to face from school, at home, and also just in everyday life. So I'll hand over to you guys. Break a leg. Sorry? So, right. I'll come out the way.
Hi. My name's James. I'm 16 and I'm gay. I also have a boyfriend called Peter. I'm really struggling at the moment about my sexuality because I'm getting pretty much no support from anywhere, and I just don't really know where to turn to, and it's really hard. At school, in the changing rooms, wherever I go, I just feel separated and different and completely alone. I'm out to my mum already, and very fortunately she is supportive, but my dad doesn't know.
Hey, James, how's it going at school?
It's been better.
Good. Any more stuff going on?
Just, bullies as usual.
Normal.
Hey, so you fancy going to the game with your old man and this Saturday?
I can't, sorry.
Why not?
I'm going to see Peter.
Oh, Peter. You ought to be careful, people will start talking.
Saying what, Dad?
You know what? Well, what? He's always going around with that boy, he hasn't got a girlfriend, people start thinking he's, queer.
Richard.
Well, it's true, isn't it?
So what if I am gay?
That's not James.
Master, Jake, you're coming to the game with me and that's final, alright?
So as you can see, my dad's not the most supportive of people. But it doesn't just stop there. I mean, it's even worse at school, because that's where people actually bully me about it. And they call me names and stuff. I mean, there's not really any part at school where I don't get this kind of abuse, but it's worse in the changing rooms, in PE lessons. You guys...
Bye, boy.
So, yeah, they're not the friendliest lot for me. I'm thinking about talking to a teacher about it.
Oh, you can stop looking at me arse.
Maybe my PE teacher might be able to help.
Hey! Stop messing about! Get changed! And why aren't you changed?
Can I talk to you about something?
About what? We've got to be on the field in 5 minutes.
It's the other boys. They've been calling me names again.
Yeah, boy.
Like what?
Gay boy
What?
and all
That? It's only a bit of harmless banter, lad. Don't take it to heart. Trust me. Now get changed, a lot of you. Right. Who wants to give me some star jumps then? Eh? Well, come on then. You need to warm up. You too. Right, running on the spot. Right, that's it. Right, split into teams.
I'm not being a team
I'm
manager.
going to be a team with Jay.
I'm here.
I don't want to hear it.
We'll try and grab me now.
Right, to make things easier, get into teams and you'll be the referee with me, okay? Let's go!
See what I mean? No one wants to be in a team with me. I'm getting all sorts of names in the changing rooms. I hope you can understand why I don't feel comfortable at school. And it doesn't just happen in the changing room, you know. It happens in the classroom as well.
Alright everyone, get your seats, it's time to do a bit of drama now. Come on, let's do the register, let's try and do this without any fuss this time. Chris?
Yo.
Dean?
Hey.
Fred?
Yo.
James?
Yeah, boy.
Excuse me, what was that you just said?
Not much.
I've definitely heard something from down the centre of the table. Could you please repeat it?
Yeah, boy.
Why did you call James a gay boy?
Because she is.
What's that got to do with anything?
Because it's minging.
Do you really think that's fair to point someone out like that when they can make them so uncomfortable? Right, do you know what? We were going to do like some drama today, but I think we've got to do something a little bit more important. Right. This is something called the Allport scale, and I'm going to explain what it is, and then I want you to see if you can point out what kind of behaviour is right. So, have you ever gone down the corridor and just sort of gone, oh, that's so gay? Let's put your hand up if you have. Yeah, when I was younger I did. That is technically anti-locution, which is sort of the opposite of elocution, being decent, being nice and being kind. And it can go from being at the bottom here to rising up to isolation. So have you guys ever excluded anyone? Whether it's anybody in your class or even just not wanting to be around someone, like, oh, we're not going to invite him to something.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have, yeah. That's the next step up. And then it climbs up to discrimination, which is when you purposely let that person know. Like, I heard from Mr. Ball earlier about you not wanting to be in James's team.
Yeah, she's like, try and grab me now.
But he won't. Guys, come on, let's not do this. It's not fair. Just because someone's gay doesn't mean they're going to want to get off with every single person they see. No, it doesn't, not at all. It's that sort of physical attack, sort of bumping past them in the corridor to hitting them with something or anything else around rushing them in the street. Then it leads up to extreme situations like excluding wanting to move classes or running away from home or anything like that. And the worst step about this is death, which doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does.
Miss?
Yes.
Alright, what we're doing in drama?
Miss, did you know that 57% of LGBTs consider suicide?
I did, yes. What do you guys think about that?
About what?
should have kept coming
That
back.
like
Shouldn't you then, James?
57% of teens that are gay, they all think about committing suicide, you know.
Really?
Yeah,
And that's
does
right.
it? Probably, yeah. Because we're all right class to women.
Regardless of that, why is that a good thing?
I don't know, it's just funny, isn't it?
So what about if, for example, one of your friends was thinking about committing suicide because they were being bullied? How would you feel about that?
I don't know, because I don't have many friends, I just have acquaintances, so,
If someone you knew then was about to kill themselves because of the way you'd been bullying them, what would you think about that?
So now I feel quite bad, to be fair.
So do you think it's fair to bully people just because of who they are?
No, not really when you think about it. Yeah, you.
Maybe that's the point to think on then. Try and remember this next time you sort of maybe call out someone on the register, that kind of thing. It starts here, but it could lead up to here.
Miss, can I have a look at it?
Yes?
So like this scale thing, it's a giant triangle, yeah? Is it just about gay people?
No, it can be applied to anything. For example, it's sort of, you've learned about in history about the Nazi concentration camps.
Yeah.
Well, it started off with this, with them prosecuting Jewish people. So it started off with anti-inclusion, just name calling and that kind of thing. Then it rose up to isolation, so avoiding them. Discrimination, purposely not going into shops and that kind of thing. And then it led up to physical attack and extreme situations, and then of course the concentration camps, with millions of them cats.
Oh, okay.
So it can apply to so many different situations nowadays, not just LGBT things. Yes, James?
Miss Bell's about to go.
It is indeed. Alright, class, who dismissed? Yeah!
Well, that was a surprise. I mean, getting called names, that wasn't surprising, but that my teacher actually said something to them. I mean, I really didn't see that coming, but it did make me feel really uncomfortable that they were being approached in front of me and kept looking at me and giving me looks and stuff. But I'm just glad school's over now and I get to see Peter.
Right. Bowling?
Yeah? Sounds cool.
Yes! Bowling. Keep your eyes open for all the strikes I'll be getting. Hold on a minute. What? Slap your back. What? This. Bend it.
I get it. Just some people being
It's in
twats at
capital
school, you know.
letters.
Just people being stupid, you know, it's nothing.
I have heard of the All-Pole scale, you know.
Yeah, we did it today.
It's in capital letters. I've noticed it with my own two eyes, so it obviously isn't nothing.
Yeah, but there's nothing I can do about it, is there? I mean...
You really expect me to just stand by and watch as something like this leads to God knows what? Leads to you
I guess
being
so.
taken away from me, away from all of those who love you and care about you?
Okay, I'll talk to someone.
At least look me in the eye when you say that.
Okay, I'll talk to someone, I promise. Alright, so be off.
Keep it.
Is there any character in it? But he does give good advice. Miss, can I speak to you about something?
Of course, James, what's up? Goodness. Who is it the same people in our class that's been doing this?
Yeah.
Have you told any of the other teachers about this?
Well, I tried telling Mr. Ball.
What did he do?
Did he say something about banter?
That's not right. This is the whole reason why I did that class the other day, so that this kind of thing would start getting noticed. We do have a policy here about bullying, whether it's just everyday race, religion, or sexuality. Would you maybe be alright with you talking to the headmaster about this and maybe trying to see about getting punishment then? This kind of thing is just not acceptable in class or outside of it. And I really do want to make sure that you feel more comfortable and safe in school.
Alright then.
There is information and places you can go to. There are youth groups, like Fruit Bowl, for example, in Sheffield, that maybe you might want to see about going.
Okay, thanks, miss.
Right, I'll go talk to the head teacher. Let me know if anything else happens. I'm always around for you.
Okay, thank you. So, my teacher went to the headmistress and had a word about all the bullies. And things have been done. At first I was a bit worried, thinking, oh, they're going to come after me, that kind of thing. But, you know, it didn't. And things have actually got a little bit better at school. It's not perfect yet, but things are a lot better now. And that group that she mentioned, I've started going there. And it is really good. I've really grown confidence about my sexuality and in who I am. And it was really one of the best things that's happened to me since I found out I was gay, because I was in that 57% of people. I guess I'm just glad to know now that things will get better.
One of my friends, she talked to a teacher for me, and they actually directed me to football, and that has actually been the most helpful thing that a teacher has ever done for me.
A lot of signposting, like you've got signposting from teachers, just having resources in the desk ready to go. Here's a group, you know, there are things out there, you just all be concentrated in school, there's support groups.
What sort of reaction do you get from secondary schools when they do these drama pieces?
It's mixed.
Really mixed, yeah. Sometimes we get really difficult classes who sort of, you know, don't want to know at all, and they do, and sometimes they come up with quite stereotypical things that you think they might say about it. Like me and Jess have had examples where we've gone and they've been like, oh yeah, all gay people have dyed hair. Totally, and you know, but it's always quite good fun when it's difficult class, because it means you get to talk and you get to challenge and you get to teach them something new. But then we also get really good classes that are just absolutely fantastic and are on the ball and they know what they're talking about. And that's good.
When we were coming up the drive, they were all hanging out the windows. It was like a Backstreet Kids comic. They were all like, hanging from their legs, going, "The gays are coming! The gays are coming!" And this all looked at me and went, and they, fair play, big props to them. They all went, and by the end of it, they were high-fiving all the young people. They got a big group photo taken by the diversity wall they were making, and they've been asked to come back. So that's a success story. Of course, they're not all success stories, but that's one for the book. I think that was a real
achievement. Do you feel that you
achievement.
make a lasting impact on schools, or is it just a one-day thing?
I hope we do.
I think it depends. Some of the kids definitely engage more with it. But I think even if just the little bits go in and we make a difference to one person in that classroom, then we've done something right.
And I think as well they impact the staff as well. I think that's an important thing, that actually staff do learn a lot as well and appreciate the views of young people, rather than us going in and saying things that it comes from their peers.
Being a more visible community, I've heard a lot of teachers say things along the lines, I've got no gay young people in my class, so it's not relevant to my particular class, or our school, we don't have gay people. I have heard it, sadly. So these are great. What a brilliant visible community all coming in. I mean, this group is made up of LGBT and straight allies, so, you know, we've got a real mix, so it's really strong, and we've also got some allies as well.
What sort of interaction do you have with teachers, and how important do you think their role is in promoting equality in the classroom?
Yeah, I say integral. I mean, if it's not happening in schools, you know, it's where a lot of our young people spend the majority of the time. You think how many hours you spend in school, 5 days a week. You know, that's where a lot of the bullying can be centred. And I think the teachers, by sort of leading by example and keeping the classroom, you know, discussing things and being open. I mean, our biggest concern is sometimes when young people go home and there's these institutional attitudes ingrained in parents and the communities and stuff. It's, I think, teachers' responsibility as educators to challenge these as soon as they walk in the doors of the school, to say, right, what you're hearing at home or what you've maybe heard, you know, this isn't acceptable here, this is a safe space. I think it's powerful. You know, I know I learned a great deal at school. The teachers stick in my mind, the ones that turn around to me as a gay teenager, living in a very rural community where everybody, you know, was very, very backward thinking. I remember the teachers and the youth workers that, and primarily the teachers that in school stopped the class and went, no, this is this, found time to do other activities, use drama as a tool, role play activities. Forum theatre is a really fantastic way in the classroom of getting people talking, using puppetry and characters is a great sort of medium, I think, for people to express how they really feel without being themselves. They don't feel as judged and attacked. We also do a brilliant continuum exercise, which we ask sort of inflammatory statements. Some of our ones, 2 men kissing in the streets, disgusting.
Sexuality is just being greedy.
Bisexuality is greedy. Racism is worse than homophobia. We have agree, disagree, not sure, and they do it in the classroom. We ask the teachers, we give them a pack at the end when we've been in, and we ask them to do follow-up work over the next few weeks to keep the learning, to keep it going so it's not forgotten at the end of that school day. And the continuum exercise is a really fantastic way of assessing kind of, actually the classes are more tolerant and aware of them.